What's up? Welcome to Laonetti's YouTube channel. I am Kellly Kelz with 3 L's.
Hey, now I can see it, I'm beautiful. Girl, she has my world, she's right.
Hi Kelly, how are you doing?
Okay
guys, you get the vibe. Yeah, this is like my doctor's brother anymore.
Not right now.
Ambitious. Right now.
Every other year.
Okay, so I've been, thinking about something that I believe Kelly is very wise, so I'm going to ask him just 2 questions. Yeah. So Kelly, right? There are certain things that add value to a person's life, and I believe one of them is unlearning things and relearning things. So how do you?
This girl is quoting me to me.
How do you unlearn things and relearn things to improve your quality of life? Like, we know that it's important, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, how does a person get to a place where I know I need this to how can I do this? Yeah.
So how do you unlearn things and how do you relearn things?
Yeah, because obviously, like, okay, first of all, I think you need to come to a place of awareness, right? Yeah, obviously, like, that's the first thing. Because, how.
Just come.
Okay, so, yeah, obviously, you have to come to a place of awareness, first of all. So, I think a good place to start is how do you start to build awareness around things that you need to unlearn? And obviously, when you unlearn things, right, that gives room for you to now learn certain things.
That's a very interesting question. So what I believe, Law, is that unlearning and like learning is a process. Like it has steps to follow, and it has like a pinnacle. It has a ceiling of where you want to be, what you want to learn, and what field you want to apply that. So once you're aware that, okay, how do you build awareness? I'll give an example of maybe you decided that you needed to open a YouTube channel. Of course, that's like the end goal in mind. So learning and unlearning is like the means to an end. You get what I mean? So if you find out what the end is, I want you to become a YouTuber. If you haven't been a YouTuber, you're learning to become a YouTuber. So you're aware of where you want to be, which is the platform called YouTube. So you start putting in measures, the means that will lead you to that end. But then when it comes to unlearning, like learning, it's also a step-by-step process. So you understand the end. Let's go back to the YouTube analogy. So you're already on YouTube, but then you realize that you don't know how to position your camera, and the way you've learned how to record is the wrong way. So you start now trying to learn a better way. And learning isn't like it's not like something that happens over awareness of unlearning happens instantly. So when you realize I've been doing this the wrong way, you're already aware. If you want to unlearn, you then again have to look for means to start doing it the right way. You get what I mean? So it's like taking steps backward and then building from behind. So I think one of the most important keys when it comes to both learning and unlearning is that very factor of awareness. Once that happens, you know it's the ends, then everything in between, that's just the means.
That's good. So now that we have an idea of where to start, right? So especially in our age range where we're trying to improve our quality of life, we're trying to figure things out. So far in your journey, like what have you found that is really important to unlearn? Like what are the things that really you think are very essential to unlearn and learn?
Bro, I think there are numerous things as a generation that we have to unlearn, especially regarding success, regarding failure, regarding love and whatever. I think these things are important because success is presented in a very selfish way by society. You get them, and I feel that's one of the things that we have to unlearn as a society, and then failure as well. You know, people have this thing about them that makes them believe that once they fail, that's their end in life. And with the advent of social media, where everything looks like it's a microwave product, it looks like everything happens overnight. People don't get to understand the whole essence of failure and process, you know, and how you get from one end, from point A to point B. Everybody thinks it should happen overnight, you get what I mean? So as long as people don't unlearn that aspect of their life, we'll have people that are depressed and people that are having all this suicidal ideation because according to them, person A went from D to E in an instant, and then for them, it's they have to exhaust the whole alphabet in order for them to get to the end that they want to get to. So, you know, we have to unlearn failure. We have to unlearn process. There are numerous things we have to unlearn. Love. I always reiterate this. Love. For me, I think love isn't this person gives me this and I give it back. I believe it's 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 satisfying to me when I give people and I know it's coming from a genuine place. I understand what constructs are built around me. I don't understand how another person is. So if I'm giving someone something, if I'm giving you something and expecting you to react the same way, then I'm missing the point. Because what if you aren't born like me, you weren't raised like me? What if you don't understand love like I do? Like what are the systems that are built around you regarding certain perspectives? You know, so this generation is we're egocentric. You know, my people, myself, my peers. It's all about me, me, I. You know, how do I make this happen? You get what I mean? So even when we're in a relationship with other people, be it platonic or romantic ones, it's always us trying to benefit at the expense even of the other person. You know? So I think there are numerous things that we can list down that people have to unlearn. Even just Christianity itself, people have to learn that when it comes to the aspect of faith, mentors and preachers are amazing to have in life. But then at the end of the day, if you don't go in your secret place, open the Bible and have your own testimony, you have no testament when you leave. You get what I mean? That's the whole essence. You have to encounter God as you. I know you've encountered God now, but then you can share the testimony with me, and it will help me see God in a different light or bring me closer to Him. But I have to encounter Him by myself, for myself, and have my own testimony. I always reiterate this, man. To David, God was someone that helped him slay Goliath. To Moses, God was someone that helped him cross the sea and free the Israelites from Egypt.
And to Lao, God is the one that helped her pass exams.
Yeah, to Lao, God is someone that helped her pass her exams. You get what I mean? To Peter, John, like they go to Paul, there were different encounters that they had with God that sustained them through and through. And that's the thing about an encounter, Lao. When you encounter God in a private place, it doesn't matter so much what happens on the battlefield. It didn't matter to David what form of instrument he used to slay Goliath. He had a personal testimony in his secret place. You get what I mean? So, and that's what I need. People don't become great in life because of what we see publicly. It's because of what they've encountered in a secret place. So there are a lot of things that we have to unlearn from. That's just that.
I love that. I love what you said on love and also on failure. Okay, maybe just start with the love aspect. I think the value of love really in our generation, I think we've missed the point of love being more of giving, right? If we look at Jesus, for example, he so loved the world that he gave. I think love is like it's great to receive love, but I think more than that, love prompts us to give of ourselves, give of our time, give of our resources, give of our, just whatever it is that we have in our hands to give. And I think if we look back at any valuable friendship, right? Like, even now, I can talk about you being such close fam because I look back at the places where you've sacrificed for me. And if we look at those friendships where, like, this person's like, this one is my friend for days, like, we've been through so much together. I think they're mostly looking back at the sacrifices. Like, there was a time like I needed somebody, and this person showed up for me, and they were not obligated to show up, but they still came. And sacrifice adds value to love, and I think that's what
that's
a lot of
really
us
a
are
quote
missing.
there. Sacrifice adds value to love.
Yeah.
It really does. And bro, like the devil has an agenda. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's James Stones that says whatever Jesus has, the devil tries to make a replica. You get what I mean?
True.
The devil is on an agenda of making us believe things in a certain way.
Yeah.
Now the world is governed by perspective.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, the world will always be governed by perspective. That's how come Paul says, once you're saved, be transformed by having your mind renewed. From the worldly point of view, have a biblical world view. Perspective is vital, and when you look at everything that is being pushed in the world, it's about wiring your perspective in a certain way. If you've learned about Christianity, it's making you unlearn the right ethos of being a Christian. You get what I mean? That's what everything is about. Everything that's being spoken of on TV, when it comes to everything that's being spoken of about gender and sexuality, it's all about changing perspectives. As long as Lao you can think, okay, I'm cool with that, then the devil has won. You get what I mean? And that's the agenda everywhere, be it about love, about success. Man, like, we have people that are so depressed in our generation because of just misunderstanding an idea or a concept or a construct. Just simple misunderstanding.
And not fitting the way it's supposed to look. Like, I don't know how and when. Okay, I know when we got to a place where we started thinking a good relationship looks like their pictures, and there's a certain way they dress, or like successful career is like where you're going out of the country, you're being, like you're receiving awards and all that. But I believe that there are great people with great careers. Not everybody can get one award, you know what I mean? And it doesn't take away from everybody else. If one person wins the award, it doesn't mean that everybody else is not as great. And I think there's so much, like, we put so much weight on getting recognition than actually adding value to ourselves and others, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that and I like what you've said, man. It's all about distorting this perspective, the right perspective. Even when we can take it back to Eden, that's all the devil tried to do to Eve. Like, there was this right perspective that God gave them about the tree of good and evil. You get what I mean? But then all he came to do was alter that perspective.
Did
Like,
you really say?
did we really say? Because that's been the agenda from Genesis. It's all about transformation of worldviews, and we have to be careful. You get what I mean? What we feed on, who we interact with, who's speaking into our lives. You get what I mean? Like you said, it's important to understand and question. Like, where did this thing come from? Who said a relationship, a friendship has to be like this? Who said, like, there are people that just sit in a room together and have a good time and call that, a friendship. It doesn't have to be stereotyped with the glamour according to Hollywood and whatever. It also just needs to have its own standard and all that.
Yeah. And what really even defines good friendships? Because I was actually going to ask you why we need to define relationships around us. I feel a lot of times some of the, like, depression and the sadness we experience comes from having too much expectations from people where they're not supposed to be, you know what I mean? And when you talk about what you just said, right? It's important for us to define what things really mean.
Exactly.
What things really mean, because like, we could lose out on amazing people that are in our lives and what they are doing for us while we're busy looking at what the ideal picture should be. I don't
True.
think it's realistic
Mm-hmm.
to get an ideal picture from anything. Even in
Yeah.
physics, whatever theories we learn, right?
Yeah.
They always tell us this is the ideal theory, but in practice,
And this is what
these are the
happened.
errors
This is
that
the
could
reality.
happen. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It doesn't take away the value of things, right? It doesn't take away the, like, just because this relationship, this friendship requires more work, doesn't mean it's not as valuable. I was thinking the other day about how, like, a 50 kg of charcoal is not as valuable as a 50 kg of gold. They're the same weight. The weight of the thing does not speak into the value of it. Yeah. So, yeah, let's just talk about that. Defining relationships.
I think definitions are very important when it comes to placement. Definitions are very important when it comes to placement. Sorry about that. Definitions are very vital when it comes to placement. How you define something helps you place it somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't place photosynthesis in salvation. Like we define it, we define it in a certain way so that we can place it in science. Christianity is defined in a certain way so that it can be placed in religion. Bringing it back to life, if we don't define friends or define who our colleagues are, who our teammates are, who our partners are, we'll place them differently.
Yeah.
And you know, that's so unfair.
Yeah.
If I call you my friend and you're not supposed to, you don't possess the attributes that, because definitions are basically attributes, and you don't possess the attributes that qualify you to be a friend, I'll be expecting something from you that you can't give to me, which is very unfair. So definitions are important in order for you to ascertain expectation.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? I'll call you my friend and expect you to understand certain things about me, and that's how we build value. So in a nutshell, that's why definitions are vital in order for us to ascertain the role that a person will play, so that our expectations of them are not misapplied.
Yeah. And also that helps us to inform our boundaries, like what is a no-go area, what is a go area, who is in my space, who is not in my space, how far in my space can you go when you're in my space, yeah?
Yeah, so this is Lalo and Kelly. We out.
Thank you for, doing
Hey,
the thing. Bye.
I can see that I'm beautiful.